All right. So, Marina, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Barcelona, but at the moment I'm living in Argentina. I have lived here, I think this is my 8th year. So I'm from Spain, but I'm living in Argentina. So I'm between those two countries.
Yeah. So they are similar, but quite different, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, there are some things that they have in common, cultural and language, for example. But then there are also quite a lot of differences, actually. In the language, for example, in both countries, we speak Spanish, but the Spanish is different. Actually, at the beginning, when I got to Argentina, I didn't understand a lot of things.
Really? We have
Yeah,
this stereotype that because they all speak Spanish, they're quite similar. They speak similar. I had no idea about this.
no, yeah, because there are a lot of expressions. So I imagine it's the same for people from Argentina that move to Spain, that they find it difficult because of expressions and sayings, and so that then you get used to it.
Yeah.
And you start it's like learning another language.
Like learning another language.
Yes.
like Brazilians that go to Portugal, and I
Exactly.
imagine Portuguese that come here. We have this problem with Brazilian Portuguese and Portuguese from Portugal, especially with their accent. Like you said, they have a much different accent from us.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a mix of this, of expressions, of the accent that is quite different. For example, here in Argentina, for me, it sounds like Spanish with an Italian way of speaking. The intonation and the singing that Italian has is something very characteristic here in Argentina, I'd say.
I've
And
noticed
grammars,
that.
yeah,
And in Spain,
yeah.
you don't have this Italian like.
No, people say that everything sounds like very monotonous, and comparing both, yeah, it's very different actually. And I don't know, the pronunciation of letter S is different. In Spain, it sounds a lot. Also, it has another sound apart from S sound. But in other countries, Latin America, I'd say in general, the S is or not pronounced or pronounced more like another letter. So this is something that I realized when I was here, because people were trying to imitate Spanish accent. And I was like, no, people don't speak like that. And then after being here for a while, going back there, I was like, oh,
we do. Okay.
Maybe you're right.
It's like the R, the British R and the American R, right? Students are always asking about that, the car and the car, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The
Exactly.
Americans say the R.
So yeah, it will be something similar to British and American or Australian accent, for example, to say some.
Yes, totally different.
Everything is so different.
So when you were in Spain and you learned English, did you learn mostly the British English, the British accent, and British?
Yeah.
And in Argentina, do people also learn more the British English or more the American English?
Yes. Yeah, I have seen maybe some difference. In Spain, everything is British English because of proximity, but a lot of people watch films and almost everything is American English. So there is some influence. And here in Argentina, what I have seen so far is schools, for example, or language schools use British books, but people, I see that they know more American words. So books are British and audios are British. So everything in schools, like formal language, is British. But then I feel that here people know more American words than in Spain, maybe also because of similarity, like mobile phone and cell phone, for example. In Spanish, it's something similar to cell phone, celular, here in Latin America. And in Spain is móvil, which is like mobile. So I think also some things have a similarity, and that's why maybe for the similarity or so they know more words in American English than British English, maybe.
Interesting. That's why book authors now talk about the international English, right? I'm always telling my students, don't worry about it. Most people
Exactly.
speak all of them nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is this, a lot of students ask that, like, how do you say this word, or how do you pronounce it? Like, it depends. You can pronounce it in a way or in another, and it happens the same with Spanish. Like, how do you say this, or how do you pronounce that? It's like, in this country they say it like this, in the other they say it like that, and it's not that one is right and the other wrong. And I think that if you're not living in the country and only one country, trying to have the accent of that place and speaking like them, I'd say it's impossible, because you have influence of all English, Spanish, doesn't matter. If you live in a place, you will communicate with the people that are natives from the place. You will hear all the time the same. But if you're not in the country, I think it's putting a lot of pressure to something that it's still English, it's still Spanish. So I don't think you have to force yourself to speak in a way. Also, because then you move 20 kilometers from the place and then it changes. So
totally agree, Marina. We have this boom now in Brazil of people talking about native speakers, sounding like a native speaker, talking like a native speakers. And I'm always telling my students, oh, if you have two pronunciations, choose one that is easier for you to pronounce, because the important is that you pronounce correctly. Which accent you use, it doesn't matter. You cannot pronounce an accent that doesn't exist, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But if you're inventing sounds that are not in the word or so, but then the accent, I think it's international accent. Even like I sometimes tell them the similarities in Spain or Argentina, that you move. You know, when someone speaks, you know if they are from the north, from the south, east, west, and you know in a distance of maybe 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, you can tell where people are from. So in English it's the same. You say British English. Okay, do some investigation. They know, I don't know, if someone is from Manchester or from a town near Manchester, they can tell the difference. So then trying to speak British English, there are, I don't know how many. I'm not going to say a number because I'm not sure, but a lot.
Like I know that the north of England, they say like instead of mine, they use a lot of me family.
Exactly.
Right? So
me friend.
Friend. Yes. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to say I want to sound like a British. Yes.
Yeah, I think they need to practice and listen to everything and try to understand and then speak, communicate in general.
Yes, speak. Yes, come to Latin American meetings and practice with us. Right,
exactly. Yes, totally.
Marina, how long have you been a teacher, and what kind of institution are you working at the moment?
I started teaching in 2006, so it has been a while already. And I have mainly worked in private language schools. Since I started, and now I have a lot of private students of my own, so not working for a language school, but recently I have started working for another language school that is in Wales. So it's a mix, language schools and now private students too.
All teaching English?
No, I teach English, Spanish, and Catalan.
And I'm also very curious about that. How big is the difference between Spanish and Catalan?
It's like Portuguese and Catalan. Some things are very similar. Some things, for example, I remember I found once a text that you could read it in Spanish and in Catalan, and it was the same. You wouldn't tell written. If it was pronouncing, then it was different. It sounded a bit strange in some cases, but it was exactly the same. But then there are other words in Catalan, for example, that are more similar to Italian, to Portuguese. So it's another Latin language. So it's it's different.
I see. Pardon my lack of geography, but Catalan is a part of Barcelona, right?
Yeah, Barcelona is the capital. So Spain is divided in different areas that it's there. Well, it's bigger than a province. They have another name in Spanish. And Barcelona is the capital of one of them. And in that one, which is Catalonia, people are bilingual and we speak Catalan and Spanish. Both.
Interesting. Can I open Google Maps so you can show us exactly where you are from, which part of Catalonia you're from?
Sure.
I have done this with the other teacher and I found this amazing. I've never been good at geography, so this is pretty interesting for me. This knowledge.
Yeah, I think you learn about geography when you meet someone from the place or you travel there. But if you have to study maps, like I love maps, I love looking at maps, but not memorizing them.
Exactly. I remember when we were young, we used to have those atlas books, and my father had those, and I took hours looking at them and looking at the capitals, looking at the place. But it's like you said, I could never actually memorize it. But when you meet a person from the country, it sticks, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So help me out.
Yeah, for me, maps and dictionaries are the same. I can spend a lot of time looking at them.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, look at this word, or look at this place. Oh, let's see what this, I don't know what I do, but I can spend quite a lot of time with maps and dictionaries.
And now that we have these online dictionaries that you can click the link, you can go from one word to the next word to the next word.
Yeah. That's even worse.
So tell me, where exactly are you from?
So it's more or less, I'd say it's around, there. Okay, now it's.
Are you from?
You can get, now it's in the sea. No, you can get closer.
Okay. Is it near Barcelona?
Yeah. So you can, exactly there, you can stop it there.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, it disappeared now. But I was born somewhere, I don't know, I think now it's more north. Can you get closer to Barcelona?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in a city that is up north, like a bit more north, but I used to live in the one that is Sabadell, which is here.
This?
Yeah, this one, I used to live in a city that is next to this one, that is smaller, but I used to go to school here. And I was born a bit more north. It's not in the map yet. More.
I'm afraid of going too fast and losing it. More to the north?
More northeast. So you have to go to the top and right.
Oh, this one. Sorry, see, geography. It's not appearing yet.
No, more. You can, if you want, just write Vic, V-I-C in the map.
Oh my God, this V pronouncing like a B is so strange for us.
Vic. There, I was born there. But I never lived there, actually. I was born there. Because my mom and all her family are from there. But then I lived until I was 3, more or less, in Barcelona, in the city, in the capital, and then we moved to this other city where I lived for until I was 24. So this is from Barcelona. 60 or 70 kilometers. Yeah, maybe from Barcelona, 70 kilometers.
I see. So it's close. It's pretty close. So you were born in a small town, then you moved to a big city, and then you moved to another a small town again.
Yeah.
Nice. And now you live in
Bariloche in Argentina, the north of Patagonia.
And is Bariloche a small town too, or is it a big city?
It's bigger than the other two. It had, well, yeah, more or less. I'd say 150,000 inhabitants.
Good. And it receives
officially
a lot of tourists, right?
It's very touristic, yes.
Yes, so there are more people there.
Yeah. And the last time they counted the people was quite a long time ago, I think. So it's probably more than that.
Nice. So were there a lot of cultural shocks going from small town to big city and then back to small town?
No, not a big difference, because, for example, in Barcelona, I lived there when I was a baby, so I don't remember, but still I was living very close to Barcelona, so I could go there for, I don't know, if I needed to buy something or so, it was there. So, and Barcelona, even if it's a big city, it doesn't feel so big. So it's not like you don't have skyscrapers and like very big things. It's more like a small town. So yeah, for me, it wasn't that different.
Nice. And I can see why you enjoy nature, because your hometown is surrounded by nature, right? There's nature all over. And now you live in Bariloche, which is amazing and surrounded by nature. So
also, yeah.
You really love it, don't you?
Yeah. I like here, for example, anywhere you look, or you see a mountain or you see the lake, but everywhere you have some or trees, or you always see something like that. So yeah, I really like it. I don't think I would be able to live in a big city with only buildings, and I know it has a lot of good things, but I would need some water or some trees or some green things.
Nice. And what do you do? Do you go hiking in the forest, or do you enjoy camping and actually sleeping there in the middle of the wild?
In the summer you can camp, but here it's a mountain climate, so it's cold at night, even in the summer. So you have to choose very wisely the nights that you want to camp, or even if during the day is very hot, then at night it can get really cold. So you need to be prepared. So it's like some days, I know some people do it a lot, but in my case, like, okay, it's going to be very hot today. Okay, is the night going to be fine? Okay, let's go. Otherwise, you're just freezing at night.
I can imagine. Freeze to death in the middle of the mountain. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Marina, for us to finish, tell me about the challenge. No, you told me about the challenges. Tell me about the advice. What piece of advice would you give to someone who would like to be either an English teacher or a Spanish teacher or Catalan teacher? Novice teacher.
I think the first thing, you need to love languages. If you don't enjoy them, just forget about it. Because you have to be studying all the time. You never stop learning. So you have to be willing to investigate. It can be your mother tongue or not, it doesn't matter. But in my case, for example, if I hear something like, oh, I Google it, and I'm all the time following different accounts that are teachers or with advice. So it's something that you really need to be passionate about, because otherwise it can be super tiring and frustrating. So I'd say this, and always keep in mind that, yeah, you are the teacher, but you will never stop being a student.
So
because
true.
you always, like, otherwise, and you have to also be willing to be updating everything you do and analyzing, I used to do this, but maybe it doesn't work so well. I heard of this idea, maybe I can try. So be willing also to try new things and to collaborate with other teachers, because you can learn a lot from other people too.
I couldn't agree more to all of that. So thank you very much, Marina, for this.
Thank you for the invitation. My